It appears Republicans have a data center problem in Texas. Houston, we have a problem. Texas, we have a problem. Wow. It's AI. Currently, there are more than 460 of the facilities across the Lone Star State, and construction showing no signs of slowing down. Now, even lifelong GOP voters are fighting against data center expansion as more and more are being proposed in deep red rural counties. Let's bring in MS Now senior transportation reporter Josh Einiger. Josh, you were just in Texas and spoke to several residents there about this issue. What'd you find out?
So, Jonathan, Republicans have made it super easy for these centers to be built in, ruby red central Texas, right? There's very little regulation, and these companies are incentivized to go to counties like this where there's wide open land, almost no one regulating what they do, and a lot of Republican voters. But a lot of these voters now feel like they've had this sort of jammed down their throats at this point. They are angry because they feel it's encroaching on their way of life, and they say they're going to take that anger, at least some of them, to the ballot box.
Things have never come easy in the Texas Hill Country. For generations, the ranching communities here have faced down everything from drought to depression.
It's land, it's our God-given right to own something like this. We fought for it. We had to work hard for it, as many Americans have.
But for Rena Schroeder, the challenge is different now.
Come on, chickens.
She owns this ranch in Lott, Texas, population 644. And she says she's in the fight of her life against AI data centers, those behemoths big tech can't seem to build quickly enough. Spurred by low regulation in the Lone Star State and cheered on by the president, massive campuses are consuming vast swaths of rural Texas. This one, the equivalent of nearly 200 football fields. The facilities house the computers that drive the AI revolution. But they're also driving Rena, a Christian conservative and lifetime Republican, straight into the arms of Democrats.
I'm President Trump. I'm in charge. He doesn't care about us. Somebody asked him about a week ago, what about the American people? And they're struggling right now.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit.
He did not care. I couldn't even watch that. I was angry after that. Like, I voted for you and you don't care about me?
Last year, the president signed an executive order reducing regulation of data center construction across the country. Behind Virginia, Texas now has the most, almost 500 already in business, with nearly 150 more under development. And nationwide, more than 4,300 are already online. Outraged neighbors contending with skyrocketing utility bills as the centers overwhelm power grids and guzzle groundwater to feed cooling systems inside.
And then there's the sound these places make when they're finally operational. Do you hear this? That low-level mechanical hum in the background? That's the sound of massive fans they use to keep the computers inside cool. At this facility, about an hour outside of Fort Worth, when you look at it from above, you can see they've installed soundproof walls in response to community complaints about the noise.
But a quarter mile away, Cheryl Shadden says the noise is as loud as ever.
It's like living on the edge of Niagara Falls, or you're on a runway next to a jet that's taking off, but this jet doesn't take off.
Morning, noon, night, she even hears it in her bedroom, and it's changed everything about how she lives her life, including her politics.
Red or blue, if you vote against data centers, we vote for you.
A lifelong conservative, she's so angry she refuses to vote for Trump-backed Attorney General Ken Paxton, who clinched the GOP nomination for Senate Tuesday. Instead, she's all in for James Tallarico, a Democrat seeking to flip a seat controlled by Republicans since 1993.
You're willing at this point to forego basically every conservative issue and let the Senate fall into the hands of Democrats if that's what it takes to kill data centers.
Yep. My entire community is going to break rank. Everybody. All of us. We've had enough.
Breaking rank and coming together.
I voted for Trump. At the time, it seemed to be the right thing to do.
Back at Rena's ranch and Lott, longtime Republicans are even canvassing for Democrats like Clayton Tucker, who's running for agriculture commissioner.
This is just Texans standing up for Texans. It's not surrendering our Texas, our way of life, our water, our power, or anything to these few corporations to make all the money in the world.
No one thinks it'll be easy for Democrats to win statewide in Texas, but through the droning noise of the data centers, listen carefully. These Republican voters are sending a message about their land and their anger and their willingness to cross party lines to protect their way of life. Are data centers going to flip the Senate seat?
Absolutely, yes, 100%.
We didn't hear back from the organization that basically lobbies for the tech companies behind these facilities, but there is a sign that they're getting the message. The president recently gathering tech CEOs to sign a pledge that they're going to generate their own power. And Jonathan and Pablo, there are now new developments that are coming online, all have a component of them that generates power. But there are almost 500 that are, on the grid, and people's rates have skyrocketed.
Well, it's this reminder. I mean, it's hard to watch that and not think, well, the economy is now tethering itself to Silicon Valley and to the concept of AI. But there are costs that generally are hidden. And it turns out these are the people who have to see them head on and live right alongside them, which is politically, how could it not be destructive?
And the irony is, in this sort of business-friendly climate in a state like Texas, that the people who vote for the politicians who create that climate are the ones who are now being targeted by all of this and who are now really, really mad. So, does this have an impact politically in November? I mean, obviously, these are a few people and who knows, but it's certainly something to pay attention to.
MS Now senior transportation reporter Josh Einiger. Josh, thank you. Really good piece. We appreciate you joining us this morning.